Hi, welcome to the channel, Craig's Twist. In this video I'm going to be looking at Age of Wonders 3. Unlike my last video, or my only video, my first video, which was Should I Play, which was an introduction to Rift, this is just going to be a Let's Play video. So I'm going to look at Age of Wonders 3. I've played through this a dozen times. I've got two of the DLCs now, which is, you can see at the top left, Golden Realms, which lets you play as the Halflings, which are like hobbits, and the Eternal Lords expansion, which lets you play as the Necromancer class. I really like this game. The first time I played this was Age of Wonders Shadow Magic. At first I didn't like it when I first started playing it, because I'd been playing the Total War series and I loved being able, the real-time strategy aspect where you're moving armies around. I couldn't get into this at first, but once you do get into it, it's fantastic. It's a brilliant game. So in this one, like I say, we're going to start a new campaign. You can play through as the Elven court, so elves, humans, halflings, necromancers. So let's just start from the very beginning. I'm just going to go through as the Elven court. Play as the elves. One of the strong points about the elves is their archers. I'll let this play through.
The Wheel of Ages turns, set in motion by two opposing powers preparing for war. The Commonwealth, humanity's greatest empire, spreads to every continent. Emperor Leonis promises to reward ambition regardless of race, creed, or descent. The Empire's machines roll forward, bringing wealth to those willing to crush all opposition. The Elven court will not submit. It is our duty to protect Athla, so that the wonders of our world will never fade. My name is Sundren, and this is my journal. My father is King Saradas, once first Stormlord of the Dark Elves. My mother is Julia, former Queen of the Wood Elves. Their passion reunited dark and light souls, restoring the High Elves. Their power reinvigorated the glory of Inioch's ancient Elven court. My brother, Prince Thanis, is firstborn. He is schooled in war and statecraft, destined to great deeds. I was born second and a girl. All my father wants me to do is secure a powerful husband, but I want none of that. In public, I may be a dutiful daughter, but I have trained and I have spied. I will be more than just a princess. In the court, envoys come and go. Everyone talks of war. Many flock to the banner of our Elven court, seeking refuge from the human-run Commonwealth with their technologies of metal and smoke.
So here it gives us the opportunity to play through the tutorial, or just skip it. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to skip it.
My grandfather, Inioch, was king when the High Elves last ruled. Then the humans came and murdered him. The elves' hearts were broken in two. Inioch's daughter, my mother, pursued healing, leading the Wood Elves, while his son, Meandor, chose vengeance, leading the Dark Elves. While we fought among ourselves, the humans grew in power. Then came the shadows to consume us all. For the first time, the world stood as one. Victorious, leaders of all races joined together to form the Commonwealth. My mother guided them, but one by one the mortal founders died. Their children forgot their forefathers. In 2 generations, they sought gold over virtue. My mother's dream of harmonious equality died. The Dark and Wood Elves withdrew from the Commonwealth, turning to each other for survival. My parents' love was their catalyst. One midsummer eve, those broken elves gathered for a night of sacred unification. Bodies and souls joined, performing a mystic ritual we call the Mending. My brother and I, the first of a new generation, were born thereafter. The High Elves had returned. I found an opportunity to escape my gilded cage when Thanis was sent to negotiate with the Commonwealth at the Council of Origins. I slipped out amongst the entourage and joined my brother. Thanis thinks war can be averted, but during my nightly spying I have overheard even our trusted allies lusting for power. These lords would sell their own families for an advantage in the impending conflict. Though a warrior, Vanis favors peace. He repeats my mother's words. Diplomacy is essential to prevent war. I fear they're too late, and history favors the one who strikes first. The council is to be held at the Pool of Origins. It is a sacred place where leaders go to settle disputes. It is guarded by a wise orc named Gamblag. His powers ensure envoys can attend the council without fear of violence. Yet, on our approach, we hear movement in the woods trailing us. Vanis leaves his guards with me, while he enters Gamblag's domain.
Okay, so the loading times are really quick in this game because the graphics are not that demanding. Your Highness, Gamblag's domain is forbidden to all outsiders for the duration of the council talks. Prince Thanos requests you to take care of the bandits we discovered in the woods. His scouts have located their hideout. Lead us, Your Highness, we are yours to command. Strange that Gamblag would allow brigands this close to the sacred pool. The Elven court trusts him to protect those that travel here. I suppose we can do his job while he hosts the talks. We will need to strike at the brigands quickly before they grow in strength and overrun these woods. So our first quest, we can see, is down here. And the Fog of War covers the entire map. If you haven't played this before, and obviously you just get rid of that as you scout around. So merging armies, so you still have, even though we're not playing a tutorial, you get lots of hints and tips. So on the balance, that's our first quest. Brigands, being a leader, some of wonders, and we need to do some research. So we play as the elves in this walkthrough, and as this let's play I should say. Elves, their strength, as is typical of elves, is in the archers. I love playing, love using the archer units. Let's see, so the first thing we're going to do, I guess, if we want to start scouting around, I could summon some Grimby crows. This one, irregular units, so that will allow us to move our regular units around a lot easier. Troops receive training to turn, so that gives us more treasure in the beginning. I think in the beginning I'm just going to summon the crows, and then we can start scouting the area. We have her, and we have 5 units, so there's 1 space left for her, so we'll move down. Welcome to the Vale of the Pool, temporarily closed for visitors. So this teleporter stops us from getting across here. I think I remember this being one of the main cities here for him, so we have to go all the way around. Pick up some mana. So we can't reach the brigands on this go. We could if we just moved her forward, but she wouldn't be supported by the army, so click to enter. Is there anything I've forgotten? I'm bound to forget something, so this has 20 per turn upkeep cost, which we can't afford at the moment, so yeah, it's right at the beginning, so we just click to enter. So we can see we've got 3 scoundrels, all human. So we're just going to go straight into this fight and manually combat it. So if you've not played this game before, split into a strategic map and a tactical map. We've just seen the strategic map as you move around the world. Now it's the tactical map as you fight each individual battle. This is our Tomb of Wonders. Gives us some information, we don't need it. You can press F to zoom in on the action here and F to zoom out. So yeah, as I was saying, I played Total War games before. And you know, I was used to moving people around the map like armies, so I thought it was a bit unusual, this system. But yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3 moves highlighted by the different colours. These guys have all got ranged weapons, as you can see. So let's see, so we've got swordsmen. They're our longbows, so they're our strength in the army, which, because they're elves, they don't have a ranged penalty, I don't think. So if we move forward 2 spaces, yeah, the only penalty here is a line of sight penalty, but they don't have a ranged penalty as far as I can see. Right, and we've got our swordsmen. Now these swordsmen, I think, are shielded, yes, so we can see here they have a shield, so they have bonus against non-flanking attacks, armor, susceptible armor piercing. I thought the shield also reduced the amount of damage they take from ranged attacks, but I guess +2 defense against non-flanking attacks. So yeah, so it counts as ranged and melee, I think. So if we push them up and they can stand in front, maybe pop them there, and we'll put these, even though I'm only going to get one, so you can see I'm only going to get one volley now instead of 2 volleys, but at least they're kind of hidden, although they can probably be reached by these guys. Yeah, they can, so I've kind of wasted one already. We've got another longbow unit here. This Union Guard, these are pikemen, so they're not shielded. And then we have the High Elf Storm Sisters. Can they reach? Yeah, so they can get 3 volleys off. They will also have a range penalty of 50%, so it's not too bad, I guess. Still take some damage. These guys have a high defense skill, or higher, I should say, than the others. So if I push them forward there, I'll bring the longbowmen and I'll keep them behind. So let's start. And we'll send a volley. It's the same there, I might as well whack on. And then try and get them down. And again. Now, the Storm Sisters, when they level up, they'll get more hit points, more range than melee strength and resistance, but most importantly, when they reach an elite rank, they'll get inflict stun, which will make them incredibly useful, because one of the 3 volleys there would likely have stunned them and they wouldn't get an action on the next turn. We'll move her forward. So she has blind. You know what? Blind is pretty useful because they're going to be doing ranged attacks, and while keeping behind the defense of the wall, of the barricade. And if we blind them, they can't use a ranged attack. They'll have to come out and attack with a melee attack. 70%, and that's worked. Okay, we haven't given these an action, so they'll go on defense automatically, which will increase the defense and resistance. So they've chosen not to move because they can't see. Now we can get 3 volleys off. So we'll start with this one. And then move on to these. And our queen has a higher defense skill than the Storm Sisters, so I'm actually going to move her forward to here. And I'm going to pull the Storm Sisters behind. I mean, this isn't a difficult fight. I could easily just break that down and kill them, I suppose. It's not really the end of the world, but I just want to try and be as strategic as possible. This attack, 2 to 3, I only get 1, and that's 2 to 4 technically with all the damage, so I might as well do that one. They're still blinded, and they're going to be blinded for... are they blinded all the time, or what? It doesn't give you 1 turn or 2 turns. I don't know, there might be, this might only be for this turn, but we'll finish there. What have we got? I think what I'll do is I'll pull the Union Guard up to here, so that if anybody charges out to attack, they're going to be faced with this guy. We'll put him in defense. So they're still going for those. So see, because he's blind, he's going to come out and attack. But these guys I've got the pikeman there now, so it's not really. So now he's got nothing to protect him. I actually want to bring these. I want to get these leveled up as quickly as possible. So I'm gonna. These are closing now. So they've leveled up. That's good. I need them to be elite rank before they start doing loads of level up as well. I'll move these forward 1, and then I can pull these longbows down 1 and get them just a little bit closer. My hit points, I only have 5 of 20 left, so I actually don't have enough hit points, sorry, spellcasting points. I don't have enough spellcasting points to cast any more spells. I could easily just, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just go in and kill him. So we can't actually get in there at the moment because I might even just kill him here now actually. Yeah, okay. Well done, sister. They will not trouble anyone anymore. The talks are not bearing fruit at all yet. I don't like it. Most lords do not seem inclined to even listen to us. I will try to find out what their true motives are. That's our brother Thanos, who's gone to use diplomacy to try and resolve the problems. Thank you, brother, and good luck with that. However, it seems I am not finished yet. It is apparent that a number of brigands were not accounted for, and there are many tracks leading south. There is a high elf village there, Eldaste, which may be in danger. So we can see here we had 2 people level up, our Storm Sisters and our Longbowmen. I'm going to try and keep them alive as long as possible, because as soon as they... Obviously I don't want them to die if I'm leveling them up, because they get incredibly strong when they get high levels. Thanos, I've heard movement in the woods. Brigands have set up camp to waylay innocent pilgrims. Thanos' scouts have found their hideout. I should clear it out to stop them from harassing anyone any further. Okay, so from breaking through that and wiping out those brigands, we've got ourselves a reward, so 60% blight protection. I think we've got some gold. And I'm just going to move her out on her own because she's got more movement points to collect that gold. And then bring her back onto the path. And then our army can catch up. So now we're not going to be able to reach that, but on the next turn we're going to be visiting the Shrine of the Guardian Angel, which bestows regrowth for the next battle and fully restores all health now. And when it's in our domain, it gives us 10 knowledge, which helps us towards this researching. Okay, so make your way to Eldaste. I think I've got the volume a little bit too high in this, so I'll turn that down in a minute. So Gamblag is a twat, as it turns out. Sundrin, this treachery will not go unanswered. Your brother has broken the peace by attacking one of my guests. Thanos fell in the attempt, just as the rebels you incited against me have fallen. I have raised their villages as a lesson to others. Their blood is on your hands. So he's basically declaring war, and it sounds like he's trying to blame us. Thanos, no, my beloved brother dead. Why? There is no rebellion, and there were no rebels in those villages. You murdered innocent people, and Thanos would never be the first to attack. Surrender or suffer. Your lies cannot swear me rogue. The actions of you and your brother have made it clear to me that the Commonwealth is the only reasonable party here, so I have joined them. It is the so-called peaceful council that is the lie. I will find out what truly happened. My troops, we will replenish our strength in Eldaste. We need to raise an army now. The treacherous orc betrayed his duty and the trust of the Elven court. He shall die. So he's declared war on us. You can negotiate in this game. Obviously there's absolutely no point in negotiating at the moment. Thanos is dead. And you can see here as well he was a warlord. That's something new to Age of Wonders 3. So you know, you can pick a class as opposed to just picking what magic you specialise in. So of course we're playing as a rogue, and Gamblak, he's a theocrat, which means he has strength when it comes to resurrecting and healing his troops. I don't really like theocrats. I don't like playing against them anyway. But anyway, you can see there that that's his. That's what he thinks of us anyway. That's our relationship. Let's come out of this. So Thanos was killed, and this is our army. So we're going to visit the shrine. Sundrin, Your Highness, brigands are threatening to burn our city down. Please help us vanquish them. And we can see that this quest that we've now been given is highlighted here. That's just a hint about concealment. But we can see these brigands now. Assassin and 3 scoundrels, and they're all human. Because when you click on this, you can see their trade. As we scroll down, you can see human, and it tells you what benefits they get, what traits they have. You meet the friendly outpost of Eldaste. We're now at peace with Eldaste. Concealment. And army requires your orders. Right, I'll just get rid of all them. Okay, so I'm going to quick save. I'm not an expert, as a lot of other YouTubers. Sometimes I'll try not to reload. I'll only reload under the harshest of situations, if I'm literally going to lose the game or something. Or if you prefer, I can just lose the game. Like if I'm going to lose, I'll just lose rather than restarting it. But anyway, we are all fully healed, so we're just going to go into this manual combat. So we need to protect the village. We attack them, so they're going to make a move first. They haven't got any defenses or anything, and they've got ranged attacks, so usually the AI will just come straight forward and attack, as long as you're in range. So one thing we can do is, okay, what's happened there? Crippled. So their attacks have crippled this unit, which means their movement is significantly decreased. I can move forward once, so I'm still in a green area, which means I still have 3 attacks. I don't know why I did that actually, because come to think of it, I'm the elves, which means they don't have range penalties. I can almost wipe those scoundrels out immediately. We can see the assassin here has backstab, or assassin strike I should say, which does a lot of damage. It does 20 damage, that's a lot. So anyway, let's see. So that means I want to protect my bowman, so I'll pull my pikeman forward to here and put him on defense. That means he can't be flanked. So this guy will have to go past this unit to get to them, as will this one. So I'm kind of, you know, they're not going to do great. I'm going to take out the scoundrels. So the longbow units in the Elven army are fantastic. As for the, let's see, I've got swordsmen here, so I'm going to pull these forward as well. I'm going to stick them here. That's not the greatest bit, I mean they can still get round. Put them on defense, but I'll put the Storm Sisters right behind the swordsmen, so they will, if anybody comes to attack, they'll at least get, I'm going to go and do more damage with these. I think I'm just going to go for the scoundrels here. Only got 1 attack off. Right, let's see. At least I can cure, and I'll still have enough of rain of poison blades. Deals 12 damage. I'm probably going to use that on the assassin. I'm going to pull right behind the pikeman. How much damage does she do with these poison attacks? Not a lot. I think I'm going to use that rain of poison blades. These assassins are probably pretty dangerous. They can reach. I'm probably not going to do that great already, am I? If I put them here, they'll take damage if they try and get to the longbowman. I'm only going to get 1 shot off on this, so I'm going to get the assassins. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not amazing. I enjoy playing this game, but I'm not fantastic. At least they took a flank attack. Oh, they survived, luckily. No, they haven't. They would have survived if I'd put the, I should have put the queen on defense. Okay, so that's a flanking attack, so they're dead. Storm Sisters are going to do a flanking attack here on the assassins, so they're dead. I'll pull the swordsman round. Get a flanking attack on the back of these. That will allow the queen to move away. We can see here that they're still a recruit. I do want them to level up. I've only got 1 out of 10 experience. If they attack, they will kill them. Whereas if I attack with this, I won't necessarily kill, so I can still get some experience for her as well. Let's do it. Sugar. Yeah, never mind. I'll try and level a pike up on the next one. But I'm gutted I lost a longbow. That was my stupidity. Thank you so much, Your Highness. These were no normal bandits. They've been harassing us persistently for a long time now, getting more aggressive every time. We suspect they are supported by Gamblag, as he does nothing to stop them. We're exhausted and weakened. Could we ask you to protect the city with your forces and leadership? So that's our first city now. Now that we have a foothold here, it's time to think about our next step. Gamblag has closed off the teleporter, which we saw up at the top, but there is a way through the mountains east of Eldaster. I can order the city to build some troops while I go east. So yeah, I lost it. Which I'm good at about. Right, so we almost have our crows, so we can start scouting the area. I can already see a cartographer's camp tent there, which will reveal a different part of the map. So let's see. So yeah, they've given us a longbow unit, so that's perfect because I lost one. So the first thing I usually do is I usually build a builder's hall. We've already got one, which you can see here. These are your currently built ones. This is what you can do with the city. We're going to keep it under our control. Next, I could build a storehouse, and that will increase the growth of the city. We can see here that we have a creation node, which gives us mana. We have, it will when we expand our borders anyway. That gives us knowledge, as we already know. That gives us growth, gold and gold. So I'm not sure if there's anything in the area that can actually give us special buildings to build. So let's move this army forward a little bit here. I want to get that cartographer's tent. I don't know if there are enemies over there, so I'm going to just have this unit join in. So we've got a full army again now, but we can move forward one step. Yeah, she has enough movement points here. He definitely does, to just reveal. So we have a fair city next to us. That's where we get elves, sorry, little fairies and things like that. Gonna move him back into the army, and we'll just end their turn. Find a way in. We need to get a Gamblag. I need to find Thanos' body to give him a proper burial, and the pool is part of the ancient heritage of the High Elves. It needs to be retaken. We need to go east and find a way in. That's the pool there, so we need to go over there. Structures inside domain. Yeah, so it tells you here anyway that you get benefits from structures when they're within your domain. When they're outside the domain, it cannot generate income or anything like that. And that's my throne city, so if my hero, my leader, dies, she'll go back to the throne city. If there isn't a throne city, I think that's it. I think you lose the game. So we have one thing left to do. This is generating money at the moment. Well, I have a little bit of money, so I'm going to buy something. I'm going to buy the shooting grounds because it'll allow our generated archer units to already have an extra rank. I normally would maybe go for the siege workshop to get more production points. The war hall gives us high elf unicorn riders and high elf union guards. The laboratory will help increase the speed in which we research. Rogue's palace, that gives us bards, scoundrels and assassins because I'm a rogue. Obviously if I was a different class, that would have a different class related building chain. What should I do? Right, I'm usually really indecisive, and obviously now I'm starting to record these games. I can't be indecisive, so I should just pick something, and if it's the wrong decision, it's the wrong decision. I'm gonna go for the storehouse just so I can increase growth. Let's do it. Click that turn. Zoom right out. If you zoom right out, you can normally see little markers moving around. Sometimes it's easier that way, I think, so you can see exactly what the AI is doing. We can see we've got bad guys here. They're independents. Because they're grey and not red like those bandits were, it means they're not going to attack. So we can attack those. So they're just going to guard that creation node. So for us, we can see we're kind of in the bottom left of the map here. I wouldn't mind having a little look around here to see what I can find that way. I also want to go and secure this city as well. Yeah, we're pretty vulnerable at the moment. I don't have a garrison either, so I'm just going to move over here and take this creation node. Okay, so yeah, in this game you also have alignment, so you can be evil, you can be good, and alignment generally will just affect how people feel about you. And even your other heroes, if you have any other heroes in your army and they're good, for example, and then you start becoming evil, it will affect how they feel about you and affect their happiness. They might even abandon your army. For this, I'm kind of going to try and maintain a neutral alignment. I want to fight this. No, let's do it. No mercy. The real danger is the ogre. If they get close, they'll do just ridiculous amounts of damage. You know, I immediately regret doing this, but let's all friendly units together, so they get extra defenses, extra resistance, and extra happiness. I should have just let them go because, you know, I'm not in a very strong position at the beginning of this game anyway. This ogre can't reach anybody on his next run, so as long as I keep... let's have a look at him as well. He's got... I thought he might have Overwhelm, but he doesn't. Overwhelm basically means he'll do more damage to pikemen. So he doesn't have that. He's blessed, obviously, from this spell, which I don't think you can disjunct, and even if I could, I don't have the... You can, and it'll take up all my points, and it'll only give me a 50. Should I do it? No, because I might need to heal somebody. I might need those casting points to heal. Swordsman, you know what? I'm going to bring them forward. Now that they're in range of him, he might actually just go straight for them. I'm not really that bothered about losing swordsmen as such, but those bows are within range of reaching more vulnerable units. So what I'll do is, he still can't reach the hero if the hero is here, so I'm going to put her in front of the Storm Sisters. And yeah, as for this pikeman, I'm going to move him right up front. Put him on defense. He can go around, so I'm going to pull this longbow unit over here. So the ogre won't be able to reach them. The bows can. They'll take an extra bit of damage off this guy if they do. I'm not the most strategic person in the world. Again, no range penalty, which is fantastic, so they can do any amount of damage to the bows. It's about time I start doing some damage to these ogres, because they're going to absolutely annihilate me when I get close. I could do more damage to the ball, but you know what? I'm gonna put it on defense. Let's see what happens. I think it's good when you're watching somebody play and it's not perfect at the game. Look at that! Look at the damage. Oh wow! So I'm literally just gonna. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna hammer that ogre from here. I could have moved them back one actually, which maybe I should have done, but. Doesn't matter really, because I'm going to pull these swordsmen over here so that when I kill this ball, which I will hopefully do, then that means she can get access around here as well. Now he'll do 16 damage. He won't kill her, so I'm going to pull her up. She can do a charge and he still won't be dead. They've already taken an action this round. I want to make sure everybody gets a go. So let's move them over one more, and let's move them over one more. They won't kill the ogre, so they'll get action. So I want to do that because they'll weaken him, so they'll get experience. They've already got experience, and I'll just charge in to kill. Yeah, so I'm losing a unit per fight, which isn't fantastic, is it? But that one was the pikeman. I can't actually build pikeman yet, which is a shame. Any advice, obviously, is always welcome in the comment section, because I'm sure most of you can play this better than I can. So we've researched crows. I can produce a scoundrel. Maybe I should start focusing on being able to produce our rogue specific units, because they're where it's stronger. That's a combat spell. You can see here this is a strategic spell. You can see because it's got blue surround and it tells you at the top. So that means we can change things on the strategy map. Combat spell, we can change things on the tactical map. These are power spells for the tactical map. And then an empire upgrade. And I usually always focus on empire upgrades if I can, if they're relatively quick, because it makes it stronger overall. One thing I wish they wouldn't call these combat spell, because it's not a spell, is it? So I wish they would change. It's just a small thing and I'm being picky, but I wish they would change the name of that, because I don't know, combat ability or something. Let's produce scoundrels. Okay. I think we've been this video has kind of gone on for about half an hour or something like that, so I think I'm going to end it soon. I'm just going to move these forward again, finish this turn. So we're currently building the storehouse, which will be finished in 2 turns. Our army is 1 man down again because I've lost a pikeman stupidly, and we won't have the benefit now next fight of what we got from this, either regrowth and everything. As you can see, we've all got our energy and stuff. So now next I'll do 1 more turn and then I'm gonna close this video. So storehouse has got 1 turn left. I'm gonna move these guys forward. We've met this village now, the dwelling of Solanu or Solunu, whatever. Silan. I'll just call it Silan, and we'll have those silent letters. Refuge as a quest available. So let me know when you're ready to talk. So that means you know, when they're happy for me to become vassal, to become vassals, and then ultimately join my empire. They'll send me a message, tell me more about the quest. Where is that? Where are you telling me to go? Can't say anything at the moment. Capture the nearby castle. I'll accept it. Oh, right, okay, there we go. So yeah, I could have done with letting them go to keep my strength up, but never mind. I can cut through here, and you can see here, these things here are called haste berries, which means I get all my units, all my movements back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this quest. I don't know how difficult it is, but let's just move forward. There we go. Let's move up and take a look and see what we've got. Yeah. Exalted. What do they do? So they can fly, so you know they're going to be able to get flank attacks in. They do a lot of damage. Yeah, they have lots of protection against. It doesn't matter about that. Victory Rush, War Cry. That's a strong unit. It tells you anyway there. It's a tier 3 unit, which is obviously good. Most of mine are all tier 1 units. I'm not too concerned about these. They could probably protect those with their ability to absorb pain, and then they can come over and just annihilate me. I'm not going to fight that yet. I'm going to build up my army first. We can look over. Let's see, what's this? So usually it has, please tell me about the quest again. There's no turn limit, so there isn't a deadline, so it's fine. I'm just going to close that, and I will take that castle eventually. So I've met them. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this army back over this way. I don't think they're going to come in and attack. I could be wrong. So I'm going to kind of pull these back a little bit and see what's over this side. That's going to be finished next go. Okay, I'm gonna end the video there. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and upload another video soon. I'm going to try and keep them around about maybe between half an hour to an hour long, sometimes depending on how much time I have. But thanks for joining me for this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.